right, boys, we're back here with another video. Today, I want to walk through some of my favorite abilities in the game. Now, before we get into the video, I do want to talk about our sponsor, MMOEXP. If you want these cards we go over in the video, instead of getting scammed by these trash packs, make sure to head over to the description and use code DILLA checkout to buy coins instead. Now, I think there are a ton of strategies in the game, right? Offensive and defense side of the ball, there's actually some really nice things. I know a lot of people say, oh, they're just bronze abilities, they don't really do anything. But here are some of my favorite things to run. We will start it off with the offensive side of the ball. Now, the number one thing I recommend, if you have not used this ability, I highly recommend trying it out. Magician on the quarterback. Honestly, me not having that with the first ability video we made is kind of criminal with how good this is. I think Magician is really the main reason why I don't feel comfortable spying Lamar or Vince Young. I don't really feel comfortable containing them either, because this ability basically makes them have like human joystick, if you're familiar with Madden, in the pocket. If you're not familiar with Madden or those type of abilities, it's like he basically has 100 change of direction or like 100 agility, like moving side to side laterally or like stepping up gives a major speed boost. I think this ability is obviously really nice on the scrambling quarterbacks, but it's even nice on pocket passers as well, just trying to step up in the pocket, give you a little bit of a boost. Will Howard may only have 81 speed, but man, it feels like he has 99 speed with Magician whenever I play up against him. But Magician is going to be one of the number one things I recommend. And since we're already here, I want to talk about quarterback as well. Now, I have to shout out the YouTube and the Twitch chat for this. So for a while, I was like, why does Vince Young not get this dot ability? And if we look at all his accuracies, even we have like the +1s with the coach strat card, 88 short accuracy, 87 medium, 86 deep. You're like, okay, the threshold is 83 throw accuracy, right? Why wouldn't he get dot? Well, what we're going to do right here is head over to cfb.fan. We're going to go to quarterback, and we're actually going to sort this by throw accuracy. This is like a hidden rating that isn't even on the card, and I really don't even know how this works, but for some reason, okay, it's the same thing with Tua as well. We'll go ahead and make sure we just sort by, like, let's say 85 overall, so you can see the top end options. But what's super weird is, right, you're gonna notice like Tua and Vince Young, let's just take a look. Tua and Vince Young both should get the dot ability, but for instance, Tua has 61 throw accuracy and Vince Young has 58. Why is this a thing? I have no idea. To me, it makes no sense, because also on top of this, right, you're gonna be like, oh, is this why Vince Young like randomly sails passes? I don't believe so, because it just doesn't make sense why this rating would matter when we have short accuracy, medium accuracy, deep accuracy. I believe this only matters for that dot ability. And is this something I could be wrong on? Maybe, but I still think the accuracy thresholds Vince Young hits is really nice. And I will say, I think Cade McNamara was really nice with his 87 throw accuracy. So just something kind of weird, and I don't really know why it's a thing, but it's a thing. And like I said, it's not like we can look on Vince Young and be like, oh yeah, he has that throw accuracy. You literally can't see it on the card. So very weird. If you guys ever want to see that rating, again, cfb.fan. But yeah, really Magician and dot is really the only thing I recommend on a quarterback. I think there are some other things that are nice. Like sometimes I like the pull down for 1 AP, slightly improved ability to not fumble when standing in the pocket. That's always nice. It's not really something that's crazy. Also step up as well. If you want to go like all out AP on the quarterback, step up Magician and dot. Yeah, really the two for me are Magician and dot, what I really recommend. And we don't really get anything crazy right here, but eventually once we're able to get field general is going to be pretty nasty. But yeah, I try to commit to spending at least 2 AP on the quarterback with that Magician. Now let's talk about running back right here. Running back, I'll be honest, I don't think you need abilities on the running back. I don't, because if you have someone like Quinshon Judkins, Barkley, like these cards are just naturally really good. Like you don't need anything to make them like crazy. The number one thing or the number one ability I like for running back is Shifty. Again, relating this to Madden, it's kind of like human joystick for me, and it makes like the left stick movement this time running the ball. It makes the left stick movement kind of crazy. And really besides that, other things I like, I would probably avoid 360 at this point, because it did get a nerf and it's really only good on gold or platinum. Sidestep is still pretty decent, but 3 AP for that, I don't think it's worth the 3 AP. I get why you would run it. Other things that I think work like actually pretty nice is, for some reason, Workhorse activates a ton. I guess it's protection from wear and tear effects, obviously, but I think it might do a little bit more than slight protection from wear and tear effects. I don't want to say it like breaks tackles or anything, but I noticed it working more than I think it would. Also, downhill isn't that bad either, but for me, really the only thing I'm recommending if you do want to run abilities on the running back is Shifty. Again, for me right now, I'm not valuing running back ability, so I'm not running it. Just wanted you guys to be aware of some things that are good. Now let's talk about receiver right here. Receiver, there's 3 abilities that I think are worth to talk about. So obviously we have Cutter for 1 AP. Cutter for 1 AP is fantastic value. Slightly improved cut moves against man coverage. So You can slightly beat the man coverage a little bit better. Besides that, there are some other abilities that I think really work well. And the first one I want to talk about is the Press Pro, especially with a lot of the current meta being like double A gap man coverage, or even for a little while was 6-1, send your entire team. This Press Pro does a really good job. It makes even corners like, say, Will Johnson. I saw my Will Johnson, like when I was running jammer with Press Man, this ability can absolutely fry that. And for 2 AP, I don't think it's that bad. It works really well for the current meta. So I could understand why you would run that too. The only argument against it is, I mean, like, you can beat man coverage without it, so it's not like a need or anything. And really the last one that I think is worth to talk about for receiver is takeoff. My only issue with this is the fact that it's 3 AP, but slightly quicker release off the line would not be impressed. This makes him get into his route so fast, which I think is really nice, either again versus like backed off man coverage, because he gets in his route fast with this. Like, it's not lying. Takeoff, they run fast. And also versus a lot of like zone style of defenses, especially like outside fades versus cover 2, I think this is absolutely money. My only issue with it is the fact that it's 3 AP, so it's kind of hard to justify spending that much when, you know, would I rather have 3 cutters or 1 takeoff? Me personally, with this meta like double A gap, I would like the 3 cutters, but this is a good ability. And receivers, another spot, I should have said this too, you don't need ability. There are routes that just do a good job first man coverage, like zig route, custom stem corner routes. We have custom stem posts, we have slants. There are a ton of ways to beat man coverage. You don't necessarily need an ability for it. Is it nice to have? Sure, get a little bit more consistency, but I don't think you need it. And really, I just want to echo that on the tight end as well. This is a spot where I'm spending 1 AP on Kyle Pitts because I want him to beat man coverage, so we do have that cutter ability on him. And really besides that, I don't think there's much worth to talk about. Again, he can get the Press Pro, but you're not really pressing tight ends anyway. Maybe if you want to play this card at receiver, but again, that would turn into receiver abilities, right? So just really the cutter worth mentioning on tight end. Now we get to offensive line. This right here is something that I've become a pretty big fan of. Quick drop 1 AP on the offensive line. First off, it's fantastic value. Second off, this is a great counter to a lot of the blitzes in the game. Does it work every time? No, but I think the best pass protection I've gotten, and I'm going back to this ability setup. The reason why my O-line all isn't activated right now is because we were doing a gameplay with Roma Dunze and also Kyle Pitts, but I like 5 quick drops on my offensive line. This has been my favorite setup. What this does is it makes them get into their pass set faster, but I think it does a good job versus a lot of the disengaged style of defenses. Again, double A gap. Part of the reason why it's so good is a lot of times you're playing bronze quick jumps and you might not have that quick drop on the offensive line. So also, this is an ability I am willing to bet any amount by December when we get this like gold or platinum. This is going to have to be on everyone's team because you'll be going up against gold or platinum quick jumps on the defense, and this is the counter for that. And again, it being 1 AP, I think it's fantastic value. Now with this, does my offensive line still get insta shed sometimes? Yes. Do they still sometimes get disengaged? Yes. But I think it gives me a way better chance and also makes pass protection way more consistent. So that's why I'm running them. So just an overview of my AP setup. Again, I have 5 quick drops on the offensive line, magician on the quarterback, and I have a singular cutter on a receiver. That is my personal favorite setup for the offense side of the ball. You can change some things. Again, we went over a ton of abilities on offense, but this is what I'm running. Now let's go over to the defensive side of the ball real quick. So defensive side of the ball, I think there's 3 strategies, okay? And it's all dependent on schemes, all dependent on what you want to do. I'm kind of between 2 setups right now. And it's like, do I want a little bit better pass rush? Or do I want my CBs to play a little bit better? So the current setup I'm rocking, which I think a lot of y'all out there are probably rocking as well, is 4 ballhawk. So ballhawk, slightly improved ability to break after a pass has been released. This gives them a little bit of reaction time, end zone coverage. They can make some plays. I don't think this ability is that great, but it does give them that little like extra, you know, it gives them a little bit. Now, again, this is for zone coverage. I would not recommend running this in man coverage. Now, I do want to talk about some secondary abilities as well. We'll talk about the pass rush in a second, but again, if you're running zone coverage, I would recommend ballhawk. Now, man coverage, I think jammer is the must. I think blanket coverage isn't bad either. I would prefer winning off the press because I think in man coverage, if you can win off the press, you win man coverage this period. So man coverage, I recommend jammer on at least 3 corners. And what you could do with like a top safety spot or another like linebacker potentially that's in man coverage every play, that's where I'd go the blanket coverage when they are not pressed. So potentially for man coverage, right? We'll use Will Johnson, Kobe, and Aiden White right here as examples. So I'd have jammer, and jammer on them. But say like Minka or Corey Thomas plays in the box for me, then I would place the blanket coverage on them because they'll be manned up to like running backs and tight ends, right? So that's what I would do in man coverage. Now, some other things I want to talk about that I understand why you would run, I just don't. House call is not bad either. It's just, again, 3 AP for that. I'd rather use ballhawk. It's kind of like pick artist. If you're familiar with Madden, slightly improved ability to catch interceptions. Again, I get why you would run it. I get it. 3 AP for that. I'd rather use the ballhawk in my opinion. And really besides that, the only other thing that's worth mentioning is robber. So what robber says is slightly improved movement and zone coverage. I think this is actually a user ability. Like for instance, if you could get this at linebacker, I would love this ability and this would be something I recommend. I don't really think it does much on AI zone coverage players. I think for a user, this makes you move really, really fast. You know how we were saying magician is like human joystick? This kind of gives you crazy left stick movement as a user. Now, something you might be curious about, knockout. I don't really think knockout's that great on this bronze level. Again, for me, the secondary abilities, I recommend jammer or ballhawk, depending if you run man or zone. And if they're not going to be pressed, then blanket coverage for man. And really the only other ability setup that I think is viable on defense is the quick jump defense. Now this quick jump ability right here on bronze is 3 AP, slightly quicker jump off the snap when pass rushing. Once this gets to gold or platinum, this is going to be a must on every team because this is the thing that gets you insta pressure. Crazy on the bronze level, but it does make a difference. It does. There's times where it does go crazy as well. Slightly better pass rush sometimes, or do I want slightly better zones sometimes? You know, this is kind of the battle that I've been having. Honestly, I'm debating myself right now. What makes more of a difference on a play-to-play basis? Quick jump or ballhawk? It's kind of tough for me. Now, I would say again, you would want 2 of these. These can even go crazy in base 4-man rushes like 4-2-5. And if you're running 4-2-5, I'd put them at the end like Will Anderson, Myles Garrett. Those would be my 2 quick jump players. Now that is 6 AP. What else could you do? Maybe you want to go all out D line and someone like Timmy Jernigan, right? Maybe someone like Timmy Jernigan, you could go like a inside disruptor, which is kind of like inside stuff in Madden. Again, I keep comparing it to Madden. I know some of y'all might not play Madden, but I would just potentially go like a ball hawk or something if you're running zone, maybe on like your slot DB or something. And yeah, I don't really think there's much else to talk about from the defensive AP setup. Yeah, those are my 3. So yeah, boys, hope y'all did enjoy this video. Again, now I'm running the ball hawks, but I'm gonna switch that myself right now. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the quick jump. Can't tell, I have been debating this quite a bit. So yeah, we're gonna have Will Anderson and Myles Garrett active. And you know what? We'll throw the ball hawk on Aiden White. And yeah, boys, this has been my thoughts on the defensive and offensive ability setups in College Football 25 Ultimate Team. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more College Football Ultimate Team content just like this. Now, if you guys do want to go ahead and see me use some of these cards live or use some of these AP setups live on stream, I stream here every single day on YouTube and Twitch. To watch on the YouTube, make sure to hit that noti bell as well. You'll be notified every time I upload or go live here. Or if you want to watch on the Twitch, check the links in the description, hit that Twitch with a follow. But if you guys do want another video to watch, check out this one right here.